We're gonna get to premium and like the really big bonuses on premium, just like the pure econ aspect. So this is nothing to do with mobs, it's nothing to do with any other zone. When you have premium, if you use focus to do crafting, whatever, you get more return. Basically, whenever you craft, whenever you refine, you'll get something called RR. Premium gives you a ton of bonuses to crops, seeds, animal byproducts, animal growth rate. It's a pretty humongous bonus. The market itself is based on everyone without premium is trying to figure out how to make money. The market is adjusted for the fact that it's assuming that premium players are doing all this. So if you're buying seeds, it's under the assumption that you are a premium player and you're going to be able to like at least break even at the very minimum by getting more crops back, by getting more seeds, stuff like that. But if you don't have premium, you're going to get screwed in any way when it comes to islands, unfortunately. The best bet is to do laborers, but that is a humongous investment that you need to do because you need to buy the furniture and get the books, feed them the books, and then that's going to be a couple months worth of investment before you even start to see profit margin on it. It does not require premium, at least, to run laborers, but it is a huge investment on the whole aspect. There are people who offer islands for rent. My main source of profit early on when I was playing was actually crafting food and all that kind of stuff. So I had rented out 15 islands when I was making like, you know, food, and I was making probably about like 3 to 4 mil silver per day. But I would take at least 1 to 2 hours every day doing my farms, doing like all of the cooking and all that kind of stuff, which it can take a lot of time, but at the end of it, that's 90 to 120 mil. And then from that, I had another alt, and I got premium on that alt, and I was turning that into a food crafter alt. Yeah, it can be a lot of work. It's basically like once you're on that road, you're set making money from there. So when it comes to islands, you can make 3 major things, right? Like animals, crop, herb. A lot of people go herbs because it's pretty straightforward and easy. Food is a little bit wonky because there are certain tiers that are more popular, but the game balances that around by making sure that the lower tier foods are all what the foods that the crafting stations need, specific types of food to give them double the nutrition. Otherwise, they just give you standard nutrition. You could do like labor, and then like a couple people were doing animals.
So you're taxed more on an order.
Yeah, if you don't have premium. The nice thing about us doing the black market stuff is that if you don't have premium, you're still being charged 2% more tax, but we don't charge you taxes to guarantee you a profit no matter what. My motto, and like the motto that we have in House of Hydra, is we're here to work together, we're here to play together. We can all succeed together, but a lot of guilds do not believe in that. A lot of have leadership or people who are hell-bent on scalping the shit out of you. You know, look, I just want to be fair with people, and I like being fair with everyone. There's no point in not being fair. Makes everyone feel bad. Makes me feel bad, at least. Yeah, so that's islands, that's food, animals, and stuff like that. Animals have favorite foods too, so keep that in mind. They'll charge you the animals themselves will eat double the random food. Here's gonna be like a big part of what we want to talk about, which is the inflow from gathering to black market and market system, right? And this is actually what Iron Furnace was most interested in. When it comes to like that whole inflow, right? Like you can gather and you want to sell your resources. If you want to make the most money, you want to sell the resources at the city that has the refining bonus for that. 4 sterling is wood, bridge watch is like stone, that kind of stuff. So you want to sell your raw resources at the appropriate places, or you want to make money by transporting those raw resources, because the resources from 2 cities away are going to be cheaper than the city itself, because everyone's buying at the city itself to do like the refining, to do all that kind of stuff, because people are lazy. You capitalize on the lazy aspect of people. Next on the tier is you can make money by transporting the refining it at the appropriate city and then selling it at a city where they buy at the highest, whether it's a bonus to the crafting for that day or it's a popular thing such as leather jackets in that love leather, the refined leather. So you can bring like a lot of this leather to Marlock to refine, and then you can bring it up to that for to sell. Prices vary because markets fluctuate, so that's tier 3. Like you transfer refined cities to the crafting city. Then finally, what everyone loves to do is they want to craft. Crafting is a tricky pitfall that a lot of people get in. They don't understand that each royal city has its own market, each city has its own crafting bonus and refining, and the game is trying to make it so that not everything is concentrated in one spot. You have to move like mats and stuff all over the different cities. Now you're either going to be paying with time or you're going to be paying with money, is the game's motto when you're doing like stuff like this for craft. And then finally, you can craft the refined mats and then you can sell it at the black market or the royal market. The higher up the tier you use your focus, the more profit you kind of get out of it. There's also, of course, like tons of numbers that go into it and everything. But some people use their focus for refining. Some people use their focus for like crafting, you know, that kind of stuff. But my belief has always been that like, because it's based on when I was doing like food crafting, right? I was using focus on my crops initially. And then I was like, wait, I'm trying to make food here. So I started using all of my focus on my food. So I made more money because I went higher up the food chain to get more return on interest on multiple different items. That's not the case gear because, you know, you only have have 1 or 2 things you're gonna get return on. You don't get the artifacts or anything back. But overall, it's good to use focus to craft gear to sell at like the black market stuff like that. So that's kind of like a quick overview, like the crafting and stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into it, such as like if you really want to be efficient with time, you need a mammy has 9 times more carry than the tier 8 bear. So that's like a 900% more. For every 10 runs you're doing, it's 1 mammy run. And those 10 runs with the bear, like those are probably 5-10 minutes each, or like 5 minutes each maybe. And then the mammy's like a 10-minute one-way trip kind of deal. So think about the cost and time and everything. When it comes to getting premium and stuff like that, you can definitely get into like the craftings. The difficulty with crafting is that they need what I just said before, which is artifact piece, in order to level up the other crafting. Because the more you level, the less focus you need to put in buyers for the artifact pieces or buy them and sell them out, and that really cuts into your profit. So you can also research your pieces, but then you're kind of like not making money back from the stuff that you put in. It's a balance between the two. If you really want to get into profit fast, then definitely having the money to invest into researching stuff is way better than crafting and selling, because you'll get more focus in the end. The focus efficiency will be much better, so you'll make more money in the long run. That was kind of like a quick overview of it. I know there's probably a lot of questions on this aspect, so if you want to ask anything. So I would say, like, on your first week of premium, you know, focus probably on the island, focus on using your focus or adequately in the right way. Think about like maybe using food or potion craft. You could do like, you know, solo dungeons, stuff like that, to help pad out the numbers and stuff like that, or purchase a guild content, because the guild also offer re-gear systems too, especially for newer players. How's the hydras, everyone? So I will have a little break here, that way people can ask questions, especially from Iron Furnace, because I know he has to leave soon. I didn't want to overload him too much. I wanted to go over like the major topics, and that people can like tell me what they're most interested in, and I can give them more information on it. Otherwise, I'm going to hold you hostage forever.
I had a quick question. So you were talking about bringing raw mats to different cities,
Yes,
because they'll sell better.
Yes.
So, for example, like Martlock has the hide bonus, right?
Yes.
So if you gather in Limehurst, would you make money then bring it to Martlock?
Yes.
Or should you bring it to like Fort Sterling, where they don't have access to hide?
No, you want to bring it to Martlock, because everyone's refining the hide there. So the people refining there will be looking to buy the hide from there for the most part, because it's just a lot easier. It's a convenience thing. So some of them are like, well, there's like a 20% difference, but at least I'm saving some time, so I can at least buy it now and then refine it and then make profit further down the line. So they're willing to take a hit on the raw mate because they have such high focus on the
return rate.
Yeah, in like the crafting, or maybe they even focus refine too. Some people focus refine. It all depends on that kind of stuff.
Let's say you refined all your hides in Martlock, then you would take it to a different city and sell those there, or craft with them or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. So if it's like a bonus day for like leather jackets, for instance, then you know the market's gonna go nuts with people trying to focus craft, you know, to get more EXP out of it and more return. So you could transfer all your refined stuff to like Thetford, which is the leather jacket city. You can sell like for a lot there. Although because the two cities are close to each other, the prices can be a little bit wonky. So it's more of a, you want to really check things out to make sure. Because like if I recall, Limehurst's leather hood and boots. So you can sell stuff there.
So theoretically, though, leather boots and hat, they should be cheaper than in Limehurst, right? They have the bonuses.
Yeah, they can be, yeah. And again, it really just depends, because some people will know that they're cheaper, so they'll put in buy orders and then they'll go and research them there too. So I'm not giving you definitive answers, because ideally, yes, they're cheaper there, because people don't want to move 500,000, you know, boots anywhere, right? They'll just drop it on the market. Some people will know that, and they'll just put in buy orders and buy all that stock. Some of them will even buy the stock just to bring the Carleon to sell too, because yeah, it's a little bit higher, it may be a little bit worse price in some cases, but in a lot of cases, Carleon definitely makes it up for it. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between buy and sell ordering too. Or sorry, a lot of people don't understand the difference between sell and sell order. They'll be so impatient, they'll just click sell. Never do that. If you're in the royal cities, never do that. There's enough traffic, there's enough people going through that your stuff will eventually be bought up in some way or form. Also, I know that people are squirrels, so then you'll see like it's a week gone by and your item hasn't been bought yet, so you want to readjust the price. Do not do that. The reason why is because every time you adjust the pricing on your listing, you repay the listing tax. Only do that if you want to get rid of it or whatever reason. Just keep in mind that you're paying relisting taxes again. So that's kind of like the pipeline flow from gathering to markets and black markets, right? And at every step of the way, there's people who are transport, there's people who are selling, there's people who are buying, there's people who are refining, that kind of stuff. There's people using focus on. So always keep that in mind, that when you're and unfortunately when it comes to crafting stuff like that, you do need a lot of investment, because you're gonna need to put in bioodors to refine stuff like that. You're gonna need to do quite a bit of things. So in that case, like, that's just the pipeline flow. If you go from your islands, you're gonna want to spend time to, you know, raise the animals, I can off stream, for those of you who are interested in what I crafted. Sorry everyone watching, but I'm not gonna tell you the secrets. I'm only gonna tell guild members my secrets of how I made my money. I'll tell you guys the secrets of how I made the money and what food tiers. And then going to laborers. I mean, the guild used to offer this thing where we would rent out guild islands to play. It was already had, like, you know, the houses and had all the laborers on it. All you had to do was stick the mercenary journals into it. Was good profit, but people really stressed out by how you had to be consistent with it, because laborers come back every 22 hours. So you had to be on the clock when it came to, like, doing stuff. And sometimes it sucks because, you know, content might be popping at that time that you set, and you're like, oh shit, I'm just gonna miss my timer window for when I'm picking up my laborers, you know. But it's not too bad. I mean, if you do stuff in the mornings, like work or whatever, you can just like take a dump and do your islands. Crafting the items and gear is a little bit more investment time. Sometimes people will commission like specific items. So like on the Discord, crafters work hard. People will be like, I need to have someone craft me like an 8-3 and 8-4. So you just roll up to them, you show them your specs, you know. Like, yeah, I'm maxed out on cloth armor, so like just give it to me and then I'll craft it for you. And they'll pay you like a huge amount for like your focus like that. Some people also sell their focus. A big part of the game is just the community and being a part of the community. The guilds that are worth it will always be the ones that like will interact with you if you put the time and effort in. And the one thing that we try our best to do here is that we try our best to outreach to everyone coming through, pull them into the community, you know what I mean? Because it's very, very common that people will join like guilds and then they won't interact, and they'll be like, well, this game sucks, what do we do here? I can't do anything, I don't know what to do here. Then they just leave and they stop playing. And you know, every MMO needs fresh players coming in and stuff. Oh, I didn't even talk about the crafting stations in city. So each city has a crafting station, and every 4 weeks you bid on the crafting station, right? If you are the owner of the crafting station, your bid counts as double. But it's a blind auction as well, so you don't actually know who's bidding and how much they're bidding too. So you could put in a lot of money, you could put a little money, and you know, whatever it is, you're going to be risking potentially losing it. Most of the times people make money on like the 2nd or 3rd month of their like ownership of a station, but there is a cartel that kind of manages all the prices in the cities, you know, because why would the people scalping from the poor people would want to compete with each other, right? So what they do is there's inner, middle, and outer ring pricing, right? So if your station is on the outer ring, the furthest away from like the middle of this, then you can go with the cheapest prices because people have to go further. But if you are on the inner ring, then you have to follow the pricing guidelines and like go with the higher pricing. If you don't follow the cartel's rules in the playbook, they will attempt to hostile take over your stations permanent. On the next bidding cycle, they're going to make sure that your stuff is depleted. They're willing, so these people we're talking about, they have lots of silver, like billion silver, so they will tank their own prices to force you into a profit loss, because it's very, very hard to be as profitable. Like these people we're talking about are like billions and billionaires, and they can just throw silver around and take a loss if they want to. Them losing silver for like a month or two on their stations is not like a drop in their bucket. But yeah, it's very interesting to see just how like humans cooperate in this game, and that's what I really like about this, is that, you know, if you go in the higher up levels of the game, you'll have people who just know each other from like, even in different guilds, like they'll always fight each other because it's fun. And then like, you know, you have reputation, you have all sorts of like really cool things going. Okay, yeah, I think that's a pretty good overview. All right, so I will leave questions open for the next couple of minutes or so. If there's no more questions, if there's questions, I'll keep on going. But if there's no more questions, then I'll close up shop on stream.